In this help video, I'd like to look at setting up or using end-of-day MetaStock data format files, in other words, end-of-day data in MetaStock format in MTPredictor version 8. These are data files in MetaStock format that are saved on your PC already. So for this, we have to set up a data connection in MTPredictor version 8. For this, we go to Tools, come down to Connections, and now we set up a new connection. So we do New. We give it a connection name. Doesn't matter what the name is, it can be different to where the location is. I'm just setting up a connection that I've called US Stocks. We now click on our drop down here, and for end of day data we use our file system option here, and this can actually automatically differentiate between MetaStock format data files and ASCII format data files. I'll do a separate video on ASCII data format files because there's a few extra steps to do for ASCII. So we just select file system, and now we have to add the folders. So these are the folders on your PC where your data files are actually stored. So we do add folder. We then have to select the folder path. So for this we go down and select where your data files are saved on your PC. Now I know I've got some data files under this particular folder here, so you just navigate to where your data files are. Now I know mine are here, so I'm just going to select the folder where the data files are and then do OK. You then have some other options. It knows that it's MetaStock format data files, so that option is grayed out and selected, pre-selected as MetaStock. You have a time zone here where you can change the time zone that your data files are saved in. In other words, if they're saved in US local time, that will be predefined there, which is fine. The asset group here, you have to choose this for what is in your data files. For example, if your data files I've got Forex, select Forex. If they are futures, select futures, but I know these data files are stocks, so I'm going to select US stocks. The trading hours here, if your data files are daily data files, in other words end of day daily data files, you can just leave this as 24/7. In another separate video I'll be looking at how to load in intraday data files, and that's when this trading hours selection will become an option. We know the data resolution is daily, so it predefines it as 1 day. You then do OK, and as you can see that selects it there. You can then repeat that process for other folders. So if for example you have 2 or 3 folders where there's data files saved, as I have here, I've got actually 4 folders here where data files are saved. So you go through this process a few times until they're all in. I'll just pause the video for a second and add the other ones in as well. Right, you can see how I've added my 4 folders in there as well. If you make a mistake or want to change them, you can highlight the folder, you can then do edit, and you can change the options for that particular folder as well. Once they're all defined and they're all correct, you then do OK, and there you can see your option, your new connection has been listed under the options there. We do OK to close that window. To connect it, in other words to tell MTPredictor where these data files are and be able to access them, you go to File, Connect, to the connection we've set up, which was US stocks in this particular example. You can see it's now connected. So when you do now New Chart, we have the option of the drop down of the folders. So let's have a look at under the NASDAQ 100, and now you select the data file you wish. Let's have a look at Amazon. You have a period here. They are in daily. The data files are in daily time frame, but you have the option to change this to weekly or monthly on the fly as you're loading the data. You can also change the trading hours, but as I've already said, because these are daily data files, you'll leave that at 24/7. You also have the option to change the symbol group, but as I've already said, these are US stocks, so I'll leave those as they are. So you just do OK, and there it is loading, and there's your chart of Amazon. And the top left here, you have the option to change that on the fly as well once it's loaded. So if you want to do a weekly chart, there it is. This is very handy for doing your your weekly higher time frame analysis. There's a weekly DP. You can then go back to daily chart as well. As you've seen, you can also do monthly as well as weekly as well. Very easy indeed to load these data files. Once they're in, you can then do a scanner, as well. There are different other videos on the website to show you how to do this. I'll just quickly load in the Dow 30 in this particular case. As well, you have the option to change this to weekly or monthly time frame on the fly as well, if you want to scan and follow weekly or monthly time frame charts in your scanner as well. There you can see it's loading in quite nicely there as well. You can now open the chart from the scanner and do your stuff in there. So as you can see, it's very easy indeed to set up a data connection for end of day data files that are saved into your PC in MetaStock format. Once they're there, you can then load them, chart them, scan them very easily indeed.